right, let's dive in. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of somatic exercises.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, specifically that mastery program guide you sent over. We want to get to the heart of it.
Okay.
Figure out how we can actually put these techniques into practice in our own lives.
Cool.
And it seems like everyone's talking about this approach these days.
It really does.
I'm really curious about this blend of mindful movement and practical advice that the guide lays out.
You too.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, maybe could you give us that big picture?
Sure.
What exactly are somatic exercises?
Somatic exercise. Well, they're all about awareness.
Okay.
Awareness of how your body moves.
Mm-hmm.
And doing that through gentle, mindful movements.
Gotcha. So it's not about like pushing your limits or anything like that.
No, it's not about that at all.
It's more about tuning in.
Exactly. Tuning into what's happening inside.
Interesting.
Yeah. Think of it less like building muscle
Okay.
and more like you're retraining your nervous system.
Retraining the nervous system.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a powerful way to put it.
Right.
It makes me think about how the guide keeps talking about this idea of releasing stored tension.
Mm-hmm.
So is that maybe a key to pain management? Because that seems like a big focus in this program.
It absolutely is.
Really?
Yeah.
Can somatic exercises really make a difference with pain?
They can, and it all has to do with, like we were saying, those habitual movement patterns.
Right. The way we move every day.
Exactly. The way we sit, the way we stand,
Even walk.
even walk, all of that gets kind of ingrained in our system.
And that can lead to pain.
It often does,
Huh.
because it creates imbalances in the body.
Interesting.
So somatic exercises help break those patterns
Okay.
and retrain the body to move in a more balanced way.
And this guide actually cites a pretty startling statistic.
Yeah?
Chronic pain
Mm-hmm.
affects 25% of people worldwide.
25%. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Right?
that's huge.
It's a huge problem. So many people are dealing with this.
Yeah, it's not just a small group of people.
No, not at all.
That's kind of a wake-up call.
It is.
It makes me wonder if some of my own aches and pains could be addressed this way.
Oh, possible.
Like I've been battling this chronic shoulder pain for
Yeah.
years.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Probably from hunching over a computer all the time.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
So I'm really curious, like, what specific solutions does this program offer for pain management?
Well, let's break down some key areas.
Okay.
First and foremost, you have to start with body awareness.
Body awareness.
That's the foundation.
Okay, so what does that actually look like?
So you need to become aware of what your body's actually doing
Mm-hmm.
before you can change it.
Makes sense.
One technique that they highlight in the guide is called progressive muscle relaxation.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
I have heard of it, yeah.
So you basically tense and release different muscle groups.
Right.
And it's amazing what you discover.
Really?
How much tension we're holding without realizing it.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's incredible.
I'm feeling a little guilty about my posture just thinking about it.
I know, right?
So we become aware of that tension, then what?
Then comes movement re-education.
Movement re-education. Okay.
It's kind of what it sounds like.
Okay.
You're learning to move efficiently
Right.
with less strain on your body.
Right.
And you might be surprised at how even tiny movements can make a difference.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
They give this example in the guide of joint rotations.
Okay.
Just small, little mindful circles
Uh-huh.
with your wrists, your ankles, your hips.
Hmm.
It seems almost too simple,
Yeah, it does.
but it can have a big impact
Right.
on your mobility and pain.
It's funny how we always think we need those big solutions.
Right.
Like really dramatic things.
Yeah,
But sometimes it's those simple things that really work.
totally.
Now, another thing I'm seeing a lot of in this guide is breath work.
Oh, yeah.
Is that another piece of the pain management puzzle?
It's a huge piece of it.
Okay.
Huge.
So it's not just about like getting oxygen, right?
It's about so much more than that. It's about
Mhm.
calming your nervous system,
Mm.
reducing stress, which, as we know, plays a huge role in pain.
Yeah, for sure.
The guide mentions some interesting techniques,
Okay.
like diaphragmatic breathing, where you focus on using your diaphragm to
Yeah.
fill your lungs.
Okay.
And then there's this other one, alternate nostril breathing.
Alternate nostril breathing.
Yeah, it sounds a little out there,
A little bit.
but people swear by it.
Interesting. So all this talk of calming the nervous system makes me think about the guide's emphasis on anxiety reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a connection there
Oh, absolutely.
between how we move and how anxious we feel?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
It's a really powerful connection.
Okay.
What's so cool about somatic exercises is they address both the physical and the mental and emotional aspects of stress.
So it's a more holistic approach?
Exactly.
I see. Yeah.
And they really build on the same principles as mindfulness meditation,
Okay.
which, there's tons of studies that
Right.
show it can actually change how your brain responds to stress.
So it's not just like a feel-good thing. It actually changes your brain.
Yeah, it actually changes your brain.
Huh.
It's incredible.
Now, there are a couple things in this guide that I'm curious about.
Oh, yeah.
It mentions things like guided imagery and chakra balancing.
Right.
Those seem a little more,
Esoteric.
yeah, a little bit esoteric.
I know what you mean.
How do those fit into this picture?
That's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Okay.
Because somatic exercises, for a lot of people, are like this gateway
A gateway.
to a whole range of holistic practices.
Mm.
So, for example, with guided imagery,
Yeah.
you might visualize a calming scene
Right. Right.
to reduce anxiety, or imagine energy throwing through your body
Okay.
to promote healing.
Interesting.
And then chakra balancing
Right.
is based on this idea that we have these energy centers
Mm-hmm.
throughout the body.
Right. The chakra.
The chakras, exactly. And specific movements can influence them.
Huh.
It's all about energy.
I see. So it seems like this program is really encouraging you to become a student of your own body,
Yes,
exploring these different techniques and figuring out what works for you.
exactly. It's all about finding what resonates.
This deep dive has already given me so much to think about. And looking at this 28-day guide
Yeah, that's a good one.
included in the PDF,
Mm-hmm.
this is more than just isolated exercises, right?
It is.
It's about kind of weaving these practices into your everyday life.
Yeah, it's about making it a lifestyle.
Okay, I like that.
Not just something you do for an hour at the gym.
Right, right.
It's about integrating it into everything you do.
That's really encouraging. It makes it feel more accessible.
Definitely.
If anyone can do that.
Anyone could do this.
And I also noticed that the guide includes case studies
Oh, yeah.
of people who have actually successfully used somatic exercises.
It's inspiring.
It is, to see how it can actually make a difference.
It really is.
That's great.
It's so powerful to read those stories.
Yeah, and it shows that even small changes can have a big
It's
impact.
huge impact. It's all about consistency.
That's so important to remember because it can feel overwhelming
Oh, absolutely.
to think about making big changes all at once.
Right, right.
But this approach seems to be all about taking small, manageable steps
Exactly. One step at a time.
towards a healthier life.
A healthier and more balanced life.
Exactly.
That's the key.
I love that.
Yeah. As we were talking about those case studies,
Yeah.
one thing that really jumped out at me was
Mm-hmm.
the emphasis on breathworks.
Right.
Like, the guide practically sings its praises.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It seems like breath work is more than just like
yeah.
a component of this program. It's like
Yeah.
a cornerstone.
It's essential, yeah.
Okay, but I have to admit,
How's that?
I'm a little intimidated by all the different techniques
Oh, yeah.
that are mentioned in this guide.
I can understand that.
It feels like a whole other world to learn.
It can feel overwhelming at first.
Yeah.
It really can.
Where do you even begin with all of that?
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
You don't need to master every single technique
Okay.
right out of the gate.
That's a relief.
The guide emphasizes finding what works for you
Okay.
and starting small.
Small. Okay.
Just a few minutes each day.
Okay, that sounds more manageable.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of getting bogged down in all the details,
Mm-hmm.
we can kind of look at the big picture benefits.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Why is this program emphasizing breath work so much?
Right, right.
What are the core reasons?
Yeah, what are they?
Well, it's about tapping into the power of your breath
Okay.
to regulate your nervous system,
Okay.
enhance focus,
Uh-huh.
even deepen that mind-body connection.
Okay, so it's not just about like
No,
breathing to stay alive.
it's way more than that.
It's about using your breath.
Yeah,
It's like a tool
exactly, like a tool.
to influence
Your state of being,
your state of being.
both physically and mentally.
Wow. Okay, that's starting to paint a clearer picture.
Good.
But can we get even more specific?
Sure.
Because the guide mentions, like we said,
Mm.
techniques like diaphragmatic breathing
Yeah, what about cadence?
and alternate nostril breathing.
Another good one.
What are the unique benefits of each of those?
Okay, let's break it down.
Okay.
Diaphragmatic breathing, sometimes called belly breathing.
Okay.
It's all about consciously engaging your diaphragm.
Right.
That's the muscle beneath your lungs.
Okay.
To draw air deep into your lungs.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I know what I'm doing with my diaphragm
I know, right?
when I breathe normally.
So many of us are chest breathers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just use the top part of our lungs,
Huh.
taking these short, shallow breaths,
Interesting.
but with diaphragmatic breathing.
Yeah.
You focus on expanding your belly as you inhale,
Okay.
allowing your diaphragm to do the work.
So it's like a deeper breath.
Yeah, it's a deeper breath, which brings in more oxygen,
Mm-hmm.
but it also massages your internal organs
Oh, wow.
and triggers that relaxation response in your nervous system.
It's like a massage from the inside out.
Exactly.
I like that.
It's pretty great.
Now, what about alternate nostril breathing?
Alternate nostril breathing.
This one sounds a little,
A little weird.
yeah, a little unusual.
I know, it might sound strange,
Yeah.
but it's actually a practice called Nadi Shodhana.
Nadi Shodhana.
Yeah, and it's been used for centuries
Wow.
in yoga traditions. Basically, you use your fingers to gently close off one nostril
Yay.
and inhale through the other, and then you switch sides.
So it's like you're alternating.
You're alternating.
Which nostril you're breathing through.
Exactly.
Okay. And what's supposed to happen when you do that?
It's all about creating balance.
Balance. Okay.
Yeah. Harmonizing the energy flow in your body. The guide suggests it can lead to
Yeah.
greater mental clarity and a sense of calm.
So with all of these breathing techniques, it seems like they're more than just breathing exercises. They're
It's-
almost like
yeah.
mini meditations.
I love that. Mini meditations.
In and of themselves.
They really are.
Is there one in particular that the guide highlights for like stress reduction?
You know, there is one.
Yeah.
It's called box breathing.
Box breathing. Okay.
It's a really powerful technique.
Okay.
A lot of athletes use it.
Oh, wow.
Military personnel
Really?
to manage stress.
Interesting.
It's all about finding that steady rhythm.
Okay, so how do you do it?
You inhale for a count of 4,
Okay.
hold for 4,
Four,
exhale for 4,
four,
pause for 4,
four, and then repeat.
and repeat. Exactly.
Okay, so it's like a square. That's why it's called box breathing.
That's right.
I see.
It's a very simple, structured breathing pattern,
Yeah.
but it can be incredibly grounding,
Okay.
especially in those moments when you feel like you're going to lose it.
Yeah, when you just need to
Yeah.
center yourself.
Yeah, get back to center.
Okay, I'm definitely putting that one in my Menon
I
toolkit.
love it.
But for someone starting out with this program,
hmm
how do you even know which techniques to focus on?
Yeah, it can be tough to choose.
Because it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Right.
The guide suggests a really great approach.
Okay, what's that?
Start by getting clear on your intention.
Intention. Okay.
Ask yourself, what are you hoping to achieve with breath work?
Right.
Is it stress relief? Is it improved focus? Enhanced athletic performance?
Okay, so figure out your goal first.
Yeah, figure out your goal.
And then choose the techniques that align with that goal.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. That makes sense.
It's like having a purpose
Yeah,
behind every breath.
a purpose behind every breath.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
So are there any other like practical tips from that the guide offers for
Yeah.
making breathwork a part of your life?
The biggest one is consistency.
Okay, consistency.
Even if it's just for a few minutes each day,
Right.
even those small practices done regularly can have a big impact.
Small steps, big impact.
Exactly.
I'm sensing a theme here.
I love it.
But what I'm finding really interesting is that the guide connects these
Yeah.
seemingly simple breathing techniques
Right.
to something so much deeper.
Deeper. Okay.
Like a sense of spirituality.
Interesting.
Is this about more than just like
Yeah,
physical well-being?
it is. And that's one of the things I find so fascinating about this program.
Okay.
It acknowledges that our physical, emotional, and spiritual selves
Mm-hmm.
are all intertwined.
Okay.
And that by tuning in to our breath, to our body,
Yeah.
we can tap into a deeper level of awareness and connection.
This is where I start to get a little lost.
Okay, I understand.
Can we break that down a little further? Like,
Of course.
how does breath work actually bridge that gap
Right.
between the physical and the spiritual?
A lot of it comes down to the concept of energy,
Energy.
the energy that flows through our bodies
Okay.
and connects us to something larger
Okay.
than ourselves.
I see.
The guide talks about using breath work to balance our chakras.
Okay, here we go. Chakra balancing.
Yes.
I've heard this term. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I really understand what it means.
It's okay. It's a complex concept.
Yeah.
But essentially, chakras are these energy centers
Okay.
located along the spine.
Along the spine. Okay.
And each chakra is associated with different aspects of our being.
So it's like our energy system needs a tune-up,
That's a great way to put it.
like our cars.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And the guide proposes that breath work, combined with specific movements and visualizations,
Okay.
can help to clear blockages in those chakras
Oh, interesting.
and bring our energy back into alignment.
So are there like specific breathing techniques
Yeah.
associated with each chakra?
It can get pretty intricate.
Yeah, I bet.
But the guide provides a good overview.
Okay.
It's less about matching a specific breathing technique to each chakra
Okay.
and more about cultivating a general awareness of your breath
Mm-hmm.
and using it to direct energy to different parts of your body.
So are there any specific practices
Yes.
in the guide that are particularly helpful for like connecting with this deeper energetic level?
They emphasize something called body scans,
Body scans. Okay.
where you lie down
Okay.
and you systematically bring your attention to
Ah.
different parts of your body,
Okay.
noticing any sensations,
Right.
tension, energy
So
flow.
it's like you're taking inventory of your inner landscape.
It's a powerful way to cultivate presence
Presence.
and connect with your physical self.
What I'm realizing through all of this
Yeah.
is that this program isn't just about
Right.
mastering a set of exercises,
It's
but
not.
about developing this deeper relationship with
Yes.
yourself.
With yourself, exactly.
It's about learning to listen to your body and
Yes.
understand its signals
Yes.
and moving in a way that honors
Yes.
your unique need
Your unique needs.
and energy. I'm realizing how much I've been disconnected from my body,
Oh, I know. Me too.
treating it more like a machine
Right.
than like,
Then a source of wisdom.
yeah.
Exactly.
This whole approach is really shifting my perspective.
That's what it's all about.
It is, isn't it?
It's about that shift in perspective.
Okay.
And as you continue to explore this program,
Yeah.
I think you'll find that somatic exercises
Mm-hmm.
offer a pathway to not just to physical health,
Okay.
but also to mental clarity,
Right.
emotional resilience,
Wow.
and a deeper connection to your inner self.
Okay, I am officially on board with this somatic exploration.
I'm so glad.
But we've been so focused on these like internal benefits. I'm
Mhm.
wondering how this translates to real life.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Does the guide offer any practical advice for like incorporating these principles
Yeah, it does.
into our daily routines?
It really does.
What does it say?
And the beauty of it is, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay, good.
It could be as simple as taking a few mindful breaths
Okay.
before a stressful meeting,
Mm-hmm.
or doing a quick body scan while you're waiting in line
Right.
at the grocery store.
I love that.
Little things, right?
Yeah, it's about finding those little moments throughout the day
Totally.
to reconnect with yourself and interrupt those patterns of
Yeah.
tension and stress
Yeah.
that build up.
That build up over time, that's the key.
Okay.
Speaking of patterns,
Mm-hmm.
let's move on to another fascinating area.
Okay.
The guide delves into
All right. What's that?
the connection between somatics and spirituality.
Okay. I think this is where things are about to get really interesting.
I think so too.
We've already talked about, the
Mhm.
energetic aspect,
Yeah.
but I'm really curious to hear more about
Okay.
how this program views
Right.
the relationship between movement and something bigger than ourselves.
That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a topic that's often overlooked.
Really?
Yeah, in the fitness world.
Hmm.
But this guy, it doesn't shy away from it.
Okay.
It
Good.
proposes that somatic exercises
Yeah.
can be a pathway
A pathway.
to spiritual growth,
Wow.
helping us to tap into a
All
sense of interconnectedness
Interconnectedness. Okay.
and purpose that
This-
goes beyond just the physical realm.
Wow, that's a powerful statement.
It is, isn't it?
I'm ready to dive deep into that.
Let's do it.
So how can we use somatic exercises
Well-
to tap into that sense of spirituality?
It goes back to that awareness of
Uh.
our bodies and the energy that
Right.
flows through them.
Mm-hmm.
The guide talks about using movement to connect
Connect.
something larger than ourselves,
Okay.
whether that's nature,
Nature. Okay.
a sense of universal energy, or even, a higher power.
So it's not about
No.
like adhering to a specific religion.
Not at all.
It's more about using movement as a way to connect with
Whatever feels sacred to you.
whatever feels sacred. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
It's about finding that sense of awe and wonder
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
can come
Yeah.
when we move our bodies with intention
Intention. Okay.
and presence.
I can see how that could be really powerful.
Oh, it is.
It makes me think about certain types of movement,
Yeah.
like dance or yoga,
That
that
too,
can
but-
feel almost transcendent.
It can't be.
Yeah.
The guide highlights practices like mindful walking
Okay.
and conscious dance
Conscious dance.
as ways to tap into that spiritual dimension of movement.
It's like movement becomes a bridge
It does.
between the physical and the spiritual.
It's beautiful.
It is. What I'm finding so intriguing about this whole program is how it weaves together so many different aspects.
It does. It's amazing.
Of well-being, physical, mental,
Yeah.
emotional, now spiritual.
All connected.
It's truly a holistic approach.
It really is.
And it makes sense
Yeah.
that by addressing one area,
Mm-hmm.
we might see positive effects.
You do.
In other areas of our lives, it's like the body is a microcosm
Right.
of the universe.
Yeah.
Everything is connected.
Everything is connected.
I'm curious about how this program addresses the mental and emotional benefits
Okay, yeah.
of somatic
That's
exercises.
a big part of it.
We talked about it a little bit before,
We did.
but can we dive a little deeper
Fine.
into how these practices can help us build resilience?
Okay.
In a world that feels increasingly stressful
Right.
and chaotic.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It is.
This is where the concept of self-regulation comes in.
Self-regulation,
Yeah.
okay?
The guide suggests that by becoming more attuned to our bodies,
Okay.
we can learn to recognize and manage
man.
our emotional responses more effectively.
So it's about developing the ability to
To ride the waves
ride the waves
of
how
our
we-
emotions.
without getting swept away.
That's something I definitely struggle with.
Oh, I think we all do. It's a skill.
It is a skill. It takes practice.
It does.
But somatic exercises can be really helpful in this area.
How so?
Well, for example, let's say you're feeling overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
by stress.
Okay.
Instead of letting that stress just consume you,
Right, right.
the somatic approach would encourage you to pause,
Pause
turn
check.
your attention inward,
Inward.
and notice the physical sensations
Mhm.
associated with that stress.
Okay.
Maybe you feel tightness in your chest,
Okay.
a racing heart,
Uh-huh.
shallow breathing.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, me too.
My shoulders always tense up.
It's so taut.
When I'm stressed, they like creep up towards my ears.
I know, right?
So by noticing those sensations
Mhm.
without judgment,
Without judgment.
we create
It
space
creates space.
between us and the stress.
I
It's
hear it.
not this big overwhelming thing. It's
Yeah.
just a set
Yeah.
of physical sensations
Yeah.
that we can observe.
We can observe.
Okay.
And from that place of observation,
Mm-hmm.
we can start to use those somatic exercises
Okay.
to regulate those sensations.
So give me an example.
So if you notice your breath is shallow,
Mm-hmm.
you can practice deeper, slower breathing,
Right. Right.
which helps calm your nervous system.
Okay.
Or if you feel that tension in your shoulders,
Yeah.
you can do some gentle stretches
Mm.
or massage
Okay.
to release that tension.
So it's about using movement and breath
Yes,
as tools
as tools.
to manage our emotional state.
Exactly. It's empowering, isn't it?
It is.
Because it gives you that sense of control.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not just a victim to your emotions.
Right. And the more we practice,
Yes.
the better we get at
Recognizing those early warning signs.
those early warnings.
and taking action to regulate that nervous system.
It makes me think about how we try to like
Yeah.
power through
Push it down.
or ignore our emotions.
Right.
But this is a different approach.
It
It's
is.
about
Learning to listen,
listening,
understanding, and working with them.
Wow. Okay.
It's about cultivating
That's
self-compassion,
compassion.
recognizing that those emotions
Mhm.
are a natural part of
Right.
human experience.
This whole conversation has been so eye-opening.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
It's amazing how its program brings together
It is pretty remarkable.
movement, breath work,
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness,
Mhm.
even
Got
spirituality
the whole package.
to create this holistic approach to well-being.
It really is.
I'm feeling inspired
I'd love
to
that.
start incorporating these practices into my own life.
That's awesome. I encourage you to do it.
And it doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming thing.
No, not at all.
It can be small changes,
Small steps.
small steps.
Big impact.
Big impact. I'm really starting to internalize that message.
That's great.
One thing I've been thinking about a lot
Yeah.
is how easy it is to get stuck in those patterns
Right.
of movement and posture.
Yeah.
Especially, with so many of us sitting at desks all day.
Oh, I know. It's a modern day problem.
It is. And the
Uh-huh.
guide mentions incorporating these micro movement breaks.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
I love those. It's such a simple but effective way
Okay.
to interrupt those patterns of tension
Okay.
and bring more movement into our lives.
Okay.
It can be as easy as standing up,
Mm-hmm.
stretching every hour,
Mm-hmm.
doing a few shoulder rolls
Okay.
while you're on a phone call,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or even just taking a few minutes to walk around.
Right.
Get the blood
Yeah,
flowing.
get your body moving.
Exactly.
It's about finding those little pockets of time throughout the day to reconnect with our bodies.
Yeah, yes.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave our listener
Yes.
with one final thought-provoking idea
Ooh, like it.
from the guide. We've talked about how somatic exercises can help with pain management, stress reduction,
Mhm.
emotional regulation,
Mm-hmm.
even spiritual growth.
That's a lot.
But the guide hints at something even more profound.
What's that?
The idea that somatic exercises can be a path
Okay.
to more mindful eating.
Interesting.
I haven't thought about that before.
It's a cool connection, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the idea that by becoming more attuned to our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
we can start to recognize,
Recognize
and
little
respond to our
content.
true hunger cues
Our true hunger cues.
more effectively.
Mm.
We can learn to savor our food,
Mm-hmm.
eat with intention,
Eat with intention.
and cultivate a healthier relationship with our bodies
Our bodies.
and the nourishment that they need.
That is a really intriguing concept.
It is.
I'm definitely going to explore that further.
I hope you do.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
Of course.
I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding
Good.
of somatic exercises and their potential.
Their potential is huge.
It is.
I hope our listener feels empowered
Yes.
to embark on their own somatic journey.
To our listener,
Yeah.
we encourage you to explore these practices.
Yes, do it.
Listen to your body's wisdom
It's there.
and discover the ways that movement can enrich your life.
Amazing.
Remember,
Yes.
even small, consistent changes can make a big difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Happy moving.